Oh, okay, is it working? Okay, I think we're good. Well, hi. I am Aserius DB, or just Aserius, I guess it goes for both of my channels. Yes, this is my face. Originally, I was gonna wait to cut my hair, but I did a poll live and they said, no, just do your face reveal now. So I said, okay, so that's what this is, except it's all gonna be tied with a Q&A because I figured if it's gonna be a face reveal, why not make it special? That way you're not just sitting here looking at a blank face and me just talking for hours. So I'm gonna just jump into it. So the first question that we have is from Migula the First. I don't know how to pronounce that, but hopefully I at least got it somewhat. Can you do much longer vids? And in your opinion, will you ever create videos outside of Legends and make a new content about other games? Yes. And yes, I actually have a main channel. I know it's kind of weird that this isn't my main channel, but I do have a main channel where I do play other games. Mostly recently it's just been CSGO or CS2. I don't really do many games on this channel other than Dragon Ball, of course. I do want to lean into doing other content. Like if Dragon Ball The Breakers actually becomes good, I might make more content on that. I also want to do Tenkaichi 4 when that releases. Like I have a lot of plans for this channel. I also want to host like major creator tournaments when I reach the point where I am of somewhat popularity. I would like to at some point expand. That is something I've wanted to do. However, because I am small, if I switch now, a lot of people probably won't follow me, and so I want to make sure you guys actually like my content for me and not just because of the gameplay that I produce. But yes, at some point I would like to try to expand outside of Legends on this channel. Also, in regards to the videos, I don't really know if I'm gonna do much longer videos other than the ones I have now. I might do longer ones just for Guess the Rank. It is a pretty lengthy series and the videos have to be long because of the amount of games that I'm reviewing, but for the most part I don't think they'll be much longer than like 12 to 15 minutes. That's usually the range I shoot for. Sometimes they're under. I don't think I've really ever been over, but for the most part, no, I don't think I will really be increasing the lengths of the videos unless the thing that I'm recording does call for it. User-UI3UF1YT8N asks, what is your time expectancy to hit 100,000 subs? And if you would do streams with the camera on, by the way, which is your Twitch channel, or do you just stream for YouTube? Thanks for your time and see you later. Okay, so I had a little bit of trouble understanding that, but I think I know what you're saying. I actually made a plan for myself that I was hoping to hit 100,000 by December of 2024. So right before the start of 2025 is my goal to hit 100,000 subs. With the rate that I've been growing, I actually do think that is genuinely possible, especially with the support that I've received. That is my goal. I do think that it is reasonable too. I don't even think that I'm like reaching. I definitely do think this is possible. And as for the camera, I don't think I'll be keeping it on for videos, except for Guess the Rank series. I mean, that might change, but for the most part, I don't plan on having it on unless I am live streaming. Yada Slayer 69 asks, how did I get into Dragon Ball? So Dragon Ball for me was not really a part of my childhood. I knew what it was. I didn't know the name of the anime or show. I just remember watching it on like, I mean, I was so young. It's just the channels, like, you know how they have like 10, 30, 11, like that kind of stuff. I would just click on one, it would say Dragon Ball, and I'm like, oh, it's pretty cool. And then most of the time my brothers would also be watching it. So it was kind of just something I actually got into from my brothers who were 3 years older than me. They're twins, actually. I never really got into it until later in my life. Like I watched a bit of Z, but I didn't really understand anything that was going on. I actually first got really into Dragon Ball my freshman year of high school, which is when I actually had a friend who introduced me to Dragon Ball Legends. I played it for like 3 or 4 months and then quit the game. This was right before the 2nd anniversary, I believe. And then I restarted it again. Well, not restarted, but I got back into it right at the beginning of my junior year when actually another friend introduced me to it when he was playing it. And I realized, oh wait, I've played this game before. And then that was right before the 3rd anniversary. And then I kept playing the game since because I realized I actually really loved the game. But Dragon Ball, I actually never watched all of Super until midway through my junior year of high school, which was a year and a half ago. So a year and a half ago is when I first actually got my dosage of Dragon Ball and figured out how Super actually went down. I've never watched Z. I haven't seen all of it. I have only watched bits. I have not seen all of GT either. The only Dragon Ball thing that I've seen is Super, but I love it. Dragon Ball has become a huge part of my life, especially now with this channel kind of popping off. So Doom-BY8SJ asks, how much Chrono Crystals have I spent? That is a very difficult question to answer. I actually think there's a way you can check it. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't know how. I'm just gonna narrow this down to how much money have I spent on the game, because Chrono Crystals is probably like 200 to 300,000, if not more, probably more actually. I'm just gonna narrow it down to how much money have I spent on the game. I actually have not spent that much. Most YouTubers spend like a religious amount on this game because obviously they have the content. I don't, because I play the game. I try to enjoy it. I've never hit God rank because I just don't want to grind that hard. I just want to enjoy the game. But I think I've probably spent $400 to $500 total throughout my history, which is actually, like, for some of you that probably seems like a lot, which technically it is, But this is over the span of like however long I've been playing since the 3rd anniversary. So pretty much a year and a half. Wait, that's actually a lot of money. Hold on, wait. I haven't spent a crazy amount compared to other people, but for you free-to-play players, yeah, I've definitely spent at least a hefty amount. Average YouTuber 5393 asks, what's your opinion on Dragon Ball Daa? Do you think it will flop? I cannot say that for sure. Obviously, there is the chance that it just is horrendous and Toriyama just has no idea what he's doing. What we've seen so far, I think it's just kind of filler. I mean, granted, that's like half of Dragon Ball. I think the whole point of it is just to give us some sort of Dragon Ball content while they're making Super 2 or the continuation of it, whatever it's going to be called. I don't think it will flop personally because it's Dragon Ball. I think fans will take what they get. And I actually think it looks pretty cool. A lot of people don't like it. They're like, why is everyone being kids? I do agree that them being kids is kind of weird. I don't really understand where that's going, but we will probably find out when the series actually comes out, and hopefully we'll actually enjoy it because a lot of people wanted to see Goku wield the power pole again, which is kind of what Toriyama was going for when he wrote the reasons why he was making Dragon Ball Daa. So I'm actually pretty excited for it, but we do have to wait until, is it like what, January of 2024, like early 2024, something like that. We have a while to wait, but I do think it will actually be good if Toriyama does put as much effort into it as he does say he is doing. DDTV_try asks, can you tell us a funny story from your lifetime? That's a really hard one because I have a lot of funny stuff that has happened. It's just a question of what do I feel like sharing? That's the real question. I'm gonna be honest, I just sat here for like 10 minutes trying to think of a funny story to tell, and the best thing I could really come up with that would kind of be funny for you just listening is, it was one time I was at Topgolf and I was with my volleyball teammates because at the time I played volleyball. This was probably like 2 years ago, almost 3 now. And we were playing Topgolf and there was a guy with us that had never golfed before. And for those of you that have golfed, you know that when there's a first-time golfer, there's a bit of struggles and a bit of confusion with you're not supposed to swing the golf club like a baseball bat. And this guy, on his 3rd ball that he was hitting, goes back to swing. He's winding up, and as he swings, he lets go of the club. It goes flying, lands. I actually have a picture of this. I could probably find it, but for the sake of privacy, because it has faces in it, I will not show it to you. His club lands in one of the point zones that you're supposed to be hitting balls into. And so we didn't get kicked out, but you can imagine that to us, that was probably the funniest thing that we've seen in a very hot minute because that club was not coming back. We were, for the next 2 hours that we were there, we were not getting that club back. And so we had to actually use the women's club because that was the only club that we had. And now that he just threw it into a point zone, we had to use the women's club, which wasn't a big deal, but it was a lot lighter and a little bit hard to get used to. And it was just really funny watching the club go flying like 50 feet in the air and just flying into the red point zone. Oh my god, that was great. Shadow YouTube-BB8JQ asks, what other games do you like outside of Legends? I am actually a huge variety gamer. I play a wide variety of games, from FPSs to sports games to RTSs. I have a pretty wide variety of games. So some of the ones that I am most fond with and I enjoy the most consist of Rocket League, CSGO, Dead by Daylight. Currently, I am actually playing For Honor. That is one of the games I've been going to. I also play Rainbow Six Siege. I've played a lot of Call of Duties. I am a pretty hardcore gamer. Gaming is a big part of my life, which is also kind of why I started YouTube, was so I technically had an excuse to play it. A couple of other games that I've played that are notable. Actually, let me just pull up my Steam real quick. That way I can just give you a rundown without going off the top of my head. So I've got Beat Saber, Fighter Z, Outlast Trials, Planetary Annihilation, Titanfall, Terraria, Phasmophobia, Kingdom 2 Crowns, and the list just goes on and on. I am a huge variety gamer. I play a very wide variety of games, and I like it because that also allows me to play with a lot of my friends who might have different interests. And as you guys know, if you have bigger friend groups, it's really hard to get along or have everybody do the same thing very often, especially in gaming, because a lot of people have different interests. I also play games like Valorant. I mean, there's just like, dude, I could probably go on for another like couple minutes just naming off games, but I won't because I've already proved my point of I play a lot of games. Arrow9672 asks, what made you start doing YouTube? This is a pretty big question, and so I'm going to narrow it down to just a couple of things, but just know that it is a pretty wide scope of reasons. But the primary two would be, one, I play way too many games and I need an excuse so that I am at least getting something out of it. And two, I've always liked the idea of being popular. Throughout my entire life, I've always wanted to be the guy that when I walk up on stage, people applaud for me. I do something cool, I hear cheers. I am kind of like a showboat type of person. I'm a party guy, although without the party part, so then I just become a guy, which doesn't make... I've always wanted to be popular. I've always wanted to walk on stage and hear people cheer my name. Do something that makes people like me. Be the guy that people like talk about. Like you go to school, you're like, hey, cheer about Aserius. That guy's pretty cool. You know, he did this. I know nobody actually does that, but just general stuff. I want to be the guy that you talk about. And the reason why is because I actually have a lot of past problems where I didn't get to do that. And YouTube was kind of the one thing that I've always stuck with no matter what's happened. And only recently did it actually start to work out. I mean, I've been doing this for years of my life. And once I started my DBL channel, it actually started to take off. And so that tells me I'm at least doing something right, which I'm then trying to incorporate into my main channel. The big thing was just because I play too many games. I need an excuse to make content so that I can play more games. But two, I just want to be popular. That is one of the things that I've always hungered for. I know that there's a lot of drawbacks that people talk about, but that's never really haunted me. I'm sure if I do end up becoming popular one day, it might come back to bite me. But for the most part, I've just always loved the idea of meeting people and someone recognizing me and we connect on the spot, and it just excites me. The thought of it keeps me going. Lil Churro asks, do you do naughty things with Toshi to get new units? You weren't supposed to reveal that. Swade2087 asks, your favorite unit and your favorite character in Dragon Ball. So my favorite character, let me just show you, because this man is badass. It's Gogeta. Gogeta is the most badass character in all of Dragon Ball for me. I love Gogeta, huge Gogeta fanatic. Anytime I see Gogeta in Dragon Ball Legends, I'm summoning for them. Doesn't matter if they're good or bad. Like this Revival Pycon that came out at the time of this recording, I'm in love with. Respectfully. Mr. Deadman4383 asks, how have you doxed yourself 3 times? So for those of you that don't know, which is probably every single one of you that's watching this video, I have doxed myself twice. I don't know about 3 times. I've probably forgotten the 3rd time if I did. The first time was I was trying to fix my tip page in the middle of a live stream, and I needed my passport to verify my identity in PayPal so that I could like fix it for some reason. When I went to save my passport to my computer so I could paste that file into the PayPal thingy, verification, whatever, it popped up into the browser that I was streaming. Everybody in that moment, which was only like 7 or 8 people, saw my full name, my address, and my face, and pretty much everything you wouldn't want someone to see. The second time, somebody plugged an Amazon link because I was talking about a wireless charger, and somebody mentioned, oh, you should get this one. So I clicked it. What I didn't realize is that on the buy now button, or above it, it displays my address. So I doxed myself, and this was only like a couple of days later. And again, only like 7 or 8 people saw it, but that's still pretty insane. I deleted both of the VODs like almost immediately because that was pretty bad, but I have doxed myself 2 times too many. It's pretty bad. I don't know how I keep managing to do it. If I did do it a 3rd time, I've forgotten, and honestly, that's probably a good thing. Anyway, that just about wraps up this Q&A. It was, of course, mainly a face reveal, but I did want to share a little bit of information about me so that you guys could connect with me better, and hopefully I can connect with some of you. I do have one more special thing to show you, though. I think you're gonna like this one. So as you can see here, I have my own little baby. I've got the little baby. She's very young. She's a couple months old, but this is my friend Junebug. She likes my desk. Oftentimes she'll come over here and I'll start playing with my other monitor and look. Oh yeah, there she goes. I just wanted to show you my cat because she's kind of cute, and you know how like YouTubers do cat cams and stuff. I don't know, maybe I'll do that. Who knows? Anyways, that is it. Goodbye.